Pack your bags and we'll take you around the world and back and inspire you to explore. Take the tour from the day trip to the grand tour and let Explore be your guide. Arguably, the most exciting place on the planet is the home of moving pictures, Hollywood. You'll visit Hollywood to feel the buzz of a multi-million-dollar industry and the white-hot star power of its larger-than-life inhabitants. So it won't do at all to be greeted by a derelict Hollywood sign. Thankfully, the 82-year-old icon has been given a facelift in true showbiz style. Back in 1923, the sign originally read Hollywoodland and was an advertisement selling homes up on the developing hillside. But in 1949, it became Hollywood, the famous landmark, high above the city of dreams, seeing all and saying nothing. Touring Hollywood is perfect for the starstruck. Devoted fans will get plenty of opportunities to see their favourite stars in the flesh. The Hollywood Walk of Fame has immortalised over 2,300 stars, and behind each one is a fairy tale rise to stardom. Your tour guide knows all the gossip, and it's all true. If you think it's possible to capture a star's elusive quality in wet cement, then you must visit Grauman's famous Chinese theatre. This unique sidewalk museum is the undisputed shrine to Tinseltown. 173 stars from Shirley Temple to Bruce Willis have donated their footprints, handprints and autographs to the famous forecourt of the movie theatre. While you're looking for your favourite star, you may find a few surprises. An imprint of Groucho Marx's famous cigar, and even the impression of Whoopi Goldberg characteristic braids. New footprints are still being added to this illustrious sidewalk, although space is getting a little tight. Come and test your handspan against Tom Cruise, or live for a moment in Kevin Costner's shoes. And what's it all for? For Oscar, of course. The golden guy the whole city wants to get close to. The Kodak Theatre has an extensive display of memorabilia from the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences. See this year's 50 fresh Oscars before they're awarded to their rightful recipients in March. You can even hold one. Now, where did I put that old acceptance speech? As part of your tour to the Kodak Theatre, you'll grace the very red carpet the stars walk down on award night. You might not have their head-turning looks or their elegant couture, but you did meet Oscar. If you want to live out your dreams in Hollywood, make sure you take plenty of the folding green stuff for a trip down Rodeo Drive. And wear your sunglasses if you don't want to be recognised. It's what all the stars do. It makes sense to tour Australia's Broome and Kimberly region in a 25-metre fully air-conditioned vessel, custom-built for the Kimberly region. Sure, you can try to explore this remote wilderness by yourself, if you dare. But the locally trained tour guides know exactly where to find the best places. The beautiful rivers, the luscious waterfalls, the awesome gorges. The deep water allows the crews to navigate the boat extremely closely to the rugged cliffs, where you can feel the powerful force of the water for yourself. The Kimberly has a barrier reef system similar to the Great Barrier Reef. The huge tidal rivers are a permanent freshwater supply, home to sawfish, stingrays, freshwater crocodile and many other species of bird life and animals, including you, if you fancy a dip in the sheltered pools. The Kimberly does not reveal its secrets easily, but you can tour into some of the Kimberley's best-kept secrets, the ancient sites of Aboriginal rock art, some thought to be 15,000 years old. These spiritual paintings and engravings tell stories of myth and ritual, of sorcery and magic. They tell of the epic adventures of ancestral beings in the time before time. In fact, the Aborigines claim these paintings were made by birds that pecked at the rocks until their beaks bled and painted the images with their tail feathers. This is no dusty art academy, but a living gallery. Some of the paintings are from recent times, and each new generation may repaint and reinterpret the images. Another secret treasure you can only find on this well-organised excursion into the Kimberley are the ruins of a World War II aircraft. These curious visitors can take a good forensic look at the body of the plane, which seems strangely untouched since that dramatic event so long ago. Nearby Broome is a town built on the pearl diving industry of the 1880s. As this popular museum attests, diving for pearls was a very dangerous endeavour. Before the advent of scuba diving, many Japanese divers lost their lives in the hunt for these translucent little treasures. Make sure to leave Broome with your own string of pearls, a beautiful reminder of this remote paradise. If Broome is your ideal destination, prepare for hot days and balmy nights under the palms. You can buy Broome's wonderful pearls using Australian dollars. Stonehenge. What is it? Who built it? And why? Visitors to this mysterious place have pondered these questions for hundreds of years. One of the most famous prehistoric sites in the world, erected about 3200 BC, Stonehenge is in the English country of Wiltshire, about 13 kilometres north of Salisbury. Taking a cultural tour of the giant standing stones, you may like to piece together the puzzle for yourself. Can you explain how these 40-ton rocks were dragged here 5,000 years ago? Theories abound. Some say it was the work of Merlin the magician, who, as part of King Arthur's legend, lifted them up from Ireland by magic and spirited them all the way to this Salisbury plain. The best time to visit the Henge is on Britain's summer solstice in June. Visitors have flocked here for the last 150 years on this magical morning to watch the midsummer sunrise, just like the pagan pilgrims of ancient times. In the 19th century, overzealous visitors caused some of the sculptures to topple, and a careful restoration later followed. Now that Stonehenge has been listed as a World Heritage Site, you can be sure to enjoy the spectacle for years to come. Whatever it is, whatever it means, and however it got there. Bring a sense of the magical and all your imagination to this whimsical place. You're best to come during England's mild summer, and particularly for the summer solstice. Apparently, Mao Zedong said, "You're not a real man if you haven't climbed the Great Wall of China." Care to take the challenge? It's an imperative trip once in a lifetime for every Chinese person and everyone else. One of the greatest wonders of the world, the wall is our largest human-made structure. After climbing the wall, you can explore its watchtowers where the imperial soldiers watched and waited for attacking armies all those thousands of years ago. Stretching a staggering 6,400 kilometres from the Shanghai Pass in the east to Lop Nor in the west of China, the wall cuts a serpentine arc roughly delineating the southern edge of Inner Mongolia. The brainchild of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the indestructible 30-foot-wide barrier was created to protect and unify China, and it was built to last. Along with the Great Pyramids of Egypt, a tour of this miracle of engineering is a must. Rivaling the Great Wall in its sheer length is this extraordinary underground city below Beijing. China has thrown open her arms to visitors in recent decades, and here you can tour a massive 20th century bomb shelter built in the time of tension between China and Russia. Like the Great Wall, it was created to protect its citizens from military attack, being able to shelter over 300,000 people. So if a stroll through the opulent palaces of the emperors is not for you, you can indulge your curiosity of China's recent political past. You'll be surprised at the kinds of excursions now available in China and delighted by the openness of your guide, who will happily translate for you a proud and complex history. Taking one of China's new tours will help demystify one of the world's most fascinating cultures. Here's some information that will help you with your trip to China. China's currency is the yuan, and you'll find the Chinese keen to try your language, even if you can't quite get your mouth around theirs. If you yearn for a voyage of the senses where music, colour and aroma are all around, where life seems to pour out onto the streets, then come to Cuba. The largest island in the Caribbean has an average temperature of 25 degrees. You may even catch an international street dancing festival like this one, where Latin dancers have come from all over to animate the city and fill the streets with music. In the squares and plazas, you will experience the theatre and feel the pulse of life in Cuba. You'll want to let down your hair, urged on by the free-spirited locals. Latin dance is one of the most shamelessly romantic dance forms in the world. Onlookers, especially the ladies, can easily get swept up in the love story of Cuban dance. But for the gentleman, the discerning gentleman that is, Havana, Cuba offers an altogether more irresistible pleasure, the world-famous Cuban cigar. Take an aromatic tour of the cigar-making process in Havana and see for yourself the techniques that have resulted in cigars of unsurpassed quality. These cigars are lovingly handmade, rolled and packed under the watchful eye of Cuba's various cigar-chomping revolutionaries. From when the first Cuban cigars rolled off the production line in the 18th century, the world went on to thoroughly embrace the fashion. Though since the 1960s, smoking has fallen out of favour with all but the truly devoted. The tobacco leaves are harvested and aged using a process that combines heat and shade to reduce their sugar and water content. The first stage, called curing, takes between 25 to 45 days. The next stage, fermentation, encourages the leaves to die slowly and gracefully. The Havana Cigar Festival is 5 days of smoke-filled parties where tourists and tobacco aficionados alike can taste the local produce and buy up big. This first-hand view of cigar production will give you a greater appreciation of the flavours and aromas of Havana's famed Cohiba and Monte Cristo cigars. And if you don't already, you might just take up the fashion accessory currently enjoying a revival among movie stars and partying supermodels. Havana nights provide a heady rush to the senses, colourful street cabaret and alfresco dining in the balmy air. You'll feel like a real Ernest Hemingway enjoying your after-dinner smoke among like-minded fellows. And notice anything? There's a no smoking sign nowhere in sight. You won't have to pack much for the perfect Cuban climate of 25 degrees on most days, but certainly leave room in your suitcase for several boxes of Cuban cigars. One of the greatest diving adventures awaits you at Sepadan Island, which lies off the northeastern coast of Borneo in Malaysia. You won't have to look too far to find Nemo and all of his friends, including barracuda, shark and manta ray. The reef here is a mind-blowing display of biodiversity and natural design. You can scuba dive here, you can snorkel, maybe even make an unusual friend or two. Above the water, it's like an island out of a storybook, just a 40-acre patch of jungle with a white sandy beach. No Sepadan dive site is more than a 5-minute boat ride from the resort. The warm, clear waters are a diver's paradise, offering a chance to encounter rare species like this green sea turtle in her own element. The green sea turtle comes to the reef to breed. With its flattened body and paddle-like arms, it moves through the water with ease. Known to grow up to 1.5 metres in length and weighing in at 300 kilos, she can be a formidable sight alongside you in the deep. Sepadan Island is known as the turtle capital of the world. In fact, it's a turtle sanctuary. All of the planet's 7 sea turtle species are listed as threatened. Diving here is rated as the best in the world because of the flawless visibility, awesome marine life, and the abundant richness of hard and soft corals. If you're on the beach in the evening, keep a careful eye out for turtle hatchings as they negotiate their way from the beach into the deep water for the first time. They're going to need all the help they can get if they're going to grow into these magnificent beasts, coming year after year to breed and feed in the delicate shelter of this area called the Turtle Cavern. It might be hard to say goodbye to your new friends, but in fact sightings of turtles are very common here and can be encountered on nearly every dive. And since turtles spend much of their time in the shallows, you can also go for a snorkel with them in the afternoon. On one of the well-organised diving expeditions provided by local companies, you can relax, forget about life on terra firma, and really become a part of this extraordinary natural phenomena, if only for a while. If you want to communicate with the wonderful Borneo divers who take care of this turtle sanctuary, try using some words of Borneo, a dialect of the Java language. If diving, dancing, trekking and climbing sound all too strenuous for you, it's time to sit back in your deck chair and watch the world go by on a cruise through Australia's Whitsunday Islands. Whether you're on honeymoon or just want someone else to take care of you for a while, a cruise is a chance for pampering, rejuvenation and reflecting. You'll be sun-kissed and carefree, enjoying the tropical weather here virtually all year round as you hop from one island to the next. The Whitsundays are an archipelago of islands located in the Coral Sea off the coast of Queensland in northeast Australia. Cruising is effortless in the hands of your experienced captain. You'll moor at many of the varied islands and marvel at their eco-diversity. This area is the same latitude as Fiji, and this means the water temperature is a delightful average of 26 degrees all year round, perfect for swimming, diving and snorkeling. Even better, the islands are protected from the ocean swells by the largest living organism in the world, the Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest coral reef system, made up by roughly 3,000 individual reefs that stretch for 2,600 kilometres. Around 2 million world visitors flock to the reef and its surrounding island resorts every year. From the resorts, you can explore your surrounds, either bobbing along the reef in a dinghy or perhaps speeding by in a sleek super yacht. The Great Barrier Reef is considered one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. Probably the best known protected marine area, the reef is cherished as a mature ecosystem that has evolved over thousands of years into this staggering display of biodiversity. You will swim among 1,500 species of fish and 300 species of coral. As a final stop, your captain steers the ship back to Australia's mainland, just like a very famous seaman before him, Captain Cook. Cooktown was discovered accidentally by Captain Cook when his ship, the Endeavour, badly damaged by a run-in with the Barrier Reef, beached itself here in 1770. The museum is proud of its collection from Australia's first European settlement and even has artefacts from the Endeavour itself. Cooktown is a remote and exotic township with a lazy tropical feel. Cruises out of town will take you deep into the jungle wilderness, slightly more comfortable than life on the Endeavour. You'll want to come back year after year, like a lot of these large mammals who just can't stay away from a tropical paradise. He may not be Captain Cook, but every day is a new discovery in North Queensland. You could strike a cyclone in the rainy season here, and that won't do when you're trying to relax. So the best time to visit this subtropical climate is from June to September. We hope we've inspired you to take the tour, and make sure you join us next time for another expedition on Explore.